This is the Long War. I'm Rob Baer, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher, Wyatt Turk, and Mike Haspel. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, great to be here.
Yeah, what's up?
Greetings and felicitations.
There was a
I
little
forgot I
pause
was
there.
second for a little bit. I fell into like 5 years ago intro.
Yeah?
Also, I'm like opening up all these pages for the FAQ and stuff, and so I was like, oh yeah, I'm second.
Got the
I don't know
whole
why you
team.
just don't go to Spiky Bits.
Yeah.
Got it all written up. Nice
I'm
and
sorry,
neat.
Rob.
Talking points.
Bro, you're a brother to me. And I say this with love, but I fucking hate your website.
Yeah, my computer got AIDS.
It's not, it has nothing to do with your
That's
actual
that's not
website.
real.
It has nothing to do with your write-ups. It's the fact that like the way that I like to do things when I pull up like the balanced data slate, I
Mhm.
want the actual PDF of the balanced data slate, not a write-up paraphrasing stuff. So it's nothing against you. It's just like I would never use it for like journalistic purposes.
I got you. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of content to dig through. That's for sure.
Well, especially if
Now,
I
if
only
it's
care
just
about
me
like
like
four things.
looking for news and like hot new shit, 100%. I use your website for that all the time. Or like, oh yeah, he was posted about this like alternate tank model. Let me find that. Love shit
Oh
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, we do it all day, every day. No head start required.
That, I mean, tons of head starts. You guys wake up at like 2 in the morning sometimes.
4.
4 in the
I
morning.
went to I went to bed at 4 in the morning last night.
Legend.
Sun never sets.
It wasn't for a cool reason, I'll tell you that. It's like tum-tum issues.
I've had a few of those.
Sucks.
I got the apneas now. Got a machine and everything. It's great.
So
I
but
think
the
Mike
universe,
Haspel was the
like,
first person to be diagnosed with sleep apnea in the world.
ever?
It might have been ever.
Why? Because I remember like 25 years ago, you telling me like I think I die when I go to bed at night sometimes.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
I depending on what machine you have, it tells you how many times you stop breathing per
Mhm.
hour. Yep,
Mhm.
it's super dope.
Like you were
It's a lot.
describing sleep apnea like in 2003 before people had CPAP machines.
Yep.
You were like, yo, I'm pretty sure I died for a minute last night. We were like at some con.
Uh,
I think I need one of those now. I think it's finally
Welcome to
happening.
being old.
Yeah, I'm like older than you are than you were.
Yeah.
I was there
Well,
at your
I'm pretty sure I have it. I've had it all my life, and I'll plug a product and then I'll shut up about it. But if you get dry mouth when you're using your CPAP machine, look for a product called Xylee Melts. They're little like mints that stick to your teeth, and so you can just like stick it to your. That's what they're made for. They're made for like preventing your mouth getting dry during while you're sleeping with CPAP.
Neat.
bro. Do you remember when we were
nice.
at Adepticon this year and we're all like walking in the hallways and everyone's got a gallon jug of distilled water in their hands?
In a
Mhm.
in a what looks to be a laptop bag, but it's really a CPAP machine.
Like the dude, everyone had one, dude.
Yep,
It's like,
I
yep,
know what that is.
that's us.
It's like going to now some of the conferences, the writers' conferences, like everyone's like on a mobility scooter or a walker or a cane.
Sadness.
Like a lot of people because they're like in their their 80s or whatever,
But they're still getting it.
but they're still at the con, man. They're
Yep,
still
still
freaking there.
getting it.
Yeah, my mom. I mean, my mom went to MegaCon last year. I mean, that was hard for her, bro. She had her little walker and everything,
Yeah.
bro.
What did Stan
Yeah.
Lee used to call them? The true believers.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, I'm going to Comic-Con this year. I'm very excited
Hell
about
yeah.
it.
You should.
Next
You're right
month.
there, right?
Yeah, that's awesome, man. It's a lot of fun. It's very crowded though. Like I was
Yeah,
not
we
I
have
was not ready.
we have a Comic-Con Sherpa. He's
Okay,
gone for
cool.
many years. He's gonna teach us the way.
Yeah, because I have never been to San Diego. I went to New York, and I mean I've been going to cons my entire life, and I was not prepared for. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, what the f, and I was on panels, and I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
holy crap.
Oh, I
Like,
think I
Yeah.
remember that when you were on panels.
yeah,
Yeah.
back when I still did that shit.
Yeah, bro. I wasn't even ready for MegaCon this year. Like the one in
That con has grown. It's exploded.
they said it's like the fifth
Huge.
largest. It's the second largest on the East Coast now. Like it's so big.
Yeah, yeah.
I wasn't
I
ready
think
for
it's
that
right
shit.
after Dragon Con.
Yeah.
Like as far as size wise.
No, I think it's lapped Dragon Con. Like
Really?
yeah. Like I think I was googling that shit. I was like, how this can't be. This is crazy, dude. Like,
Wow.
dude, I'd never seen like it. I was not, and that's not San Diego Comic Con or you know what I mean.
No,
It's like
no.
I think it's like tied for like second right now or something. It was,
Mm.
and that was last year's numbers. And this year's numbers were crazy, bro. Like it was preposterous. Anyway, sorry, derail. Let's do a would you rather with the whole crew here.
Right. So yeah, I was telling Haskell I watched Sinners last night, that new movie, and afterwards it prompted a fun discussion of would you rather be a vampire or a werewolf? The caveat being you can choose whatever media or rules that you want, but then you have to exist in that world.
Too easy. Can I pick a third?
Like what? You want to be like a Cthulhu monster or something? Like I don't
A
understand.
fucking mummy.
No, you gotta be a vampire.
He's gonna
werewolf.
pick his book.
Damn it.
He's gonna pick Graveyard Shift Universe.
I don't know,
was
dude. Your
totally-
book's pretty metal. I don't know if I'd want to live in that world.
If he's fucking,
If I was a fucking mummy,
It was-
I would
yeah,
totally.
mummies are OP in his book.
Broken.
yeah,
It's just my character is kind of an idiot and hasn't figured out that he's broken yet.
yeah.
Well, it's gotta be a hard choice. So let's keep it to the two categories.
All right. I'm gonna say vampire. Is that what Team Edward, right?
That's honestly, I would say Vampire Twilight.
You're gonna have to exist in the Twilight world.
Yeah, but the Twilight world, I don't know. Kind of.
I mean, I exist in
Little-
this universe, but like I can go anywhere in this now, right? Like I don't need to like just live in that town in Seattle, right? Like I'm not
I
narratively
suppose that's fair, yeah.
right. Like I
Mhm.
live in that universe, right? Like it's a regular ass Earth. It's not
Mm,
like I'm not a character in the book, am I? If I'm a character in the book and I gotta live in that stupid fucking town dating high school girls, no, I'm out of that gross shit. Like fuck that.
It's a pretty broad one. You know, I want everybody to have like a fun one this week.
Yeah. yeah.
Talk with the
Like I
coworkers
picked
and
Twilight
everything.
because
Why not-
they're
why not do,
they're
like-
OP.
Yeah, could be. That's a solid answer.
They're OP, dude. Like they don't like sun doesn't affect them. That like wood stakes aren't a thing. You gotta like literally fucking and they get superpowers too on top of regular vampire superpowers.
hmm
Can't like
no,
Edward
I mean
read
their
minds or
powers
some
are
shit?
legit.
Oh no, Edward's like super fast, right?
Yeah.
Like what if I got
also,
like
you get really good at baseball.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I can be like Yamcha from Dragon Ball Z, just go to baseball games.
Yeah, only night games though.
I mean,
You missed like half the season.
but I'm not gonna get caught with a okay, Haspel. What's the oh
Mhm.
my god, what's the fucking old courtroom drama with a vampire who did Night Court?
A courtroom drama with a
Like
vampire.
Forever Night or something like that?
Oh
Forever Night,
yeah.
That wasn't a courtroom drama, dude. That
No,
was
he was a cop.
It was a cop show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
wait,
he
the
had to go
vampire
to
was a
court
cop?
one
Cop
time
show.
in the morning.
Yeah,
right?
the vampire was a
Yeah.
cop.
And his car, he could hide
Use
in
it
the
as a
trunk.
coffin, right?
Yeah.
The trunk. And he
Oh,
had to go to
right.
he had to go to court the day once, right? And it was a problem, right?
It was a problem. That was a good show.
That's a
I
good
really
show.
liked it. Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
good fucking
that was
show.
a good
That was
one.
like early 90s out of like Canadian TV.
Bro, is
Somebody's
that
asking
like
if they pick Blood Angels? No, because Blood Angels aren't vampires.
that's
they're
almost
Astartes.
like urban fantasy, like graveyard shift style fucking
No,
story.
it was totally urban fantasy. It
Yeah.
was completely urban fantasy.
Mhm.
That was before Buffy. That was before
Yeah.
Highlander, the TV show.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Damn, I might have to look this up.
We need to give this
It was
motherfucker
It's a
some
good
credit.
show, dude.
I've never
Yeah,
heard
it's
of
It's a
this.
good show.
It was good.
My mom was
Yeah, it's called
obsessed with that
Forever
shit.
Night.
Yep.
Forever Night is what it was called. And it was like,
Okay.
He's like,
And
there's
there
a
was, like-
reason why I drive this car.
yeah, he was a cop. It was like,
Mhm.
I mean, I'm almost anytime this discussion comes up, I almost always pick vampire anyway because like it's like like werewolves are metal as shit. Like I like them, you know what I mean? But like Immortal Overlord, I'm with that.
mhm.
You know,
I guess it depends. So that's the whole thing. It really depends on what rule set or like media
Yeah.
you're basing it off of. Because in some of those same things, like werewolves are immortal. They're fucking OP. Like you can literally only kill them if you shoot them in the heart with like silver. So they
Right.
have less weaknesses overall than a vampire.
Yeah, and it's
Healing
some more
factor
than
like
a weakness of
Wolverine.
a vampire, right? You go into the Underworld
True.
franchise, they like you can't even fight a werewolf if you're a vampire unless you're an elder.
Yeah, or you have to
Yeah.
have like the UV rounds. But then you have to live in the underworld.
Yeah,
Universe.
which I don't want to do. I want to just live in a regular place, being like immune to sunlight and wood. You know, like
So my
definitely.
first thought was like Blade, but then I'm like, but there is a chance that Blade could just show
Yeah,
up. dude.
Daywalker
Yeah,
just
would
shows
just
up and
show up
fucks
and
my
just-
shit up, dude.
Even if you're chill, he could just show up and be like, I'm doing the rounds, dude. I'm
Even if
cleaning
like
house."
you're like
Yeah.
an informant, he does not treat you well.
no.
Mm-mm.
No, I would pick vampire from Graveyard Shift for sure.
Fair enough.
Mm.
I think my
What's
actual
different about your
answer-
vampires that you pick?
The sunlight does affect them, but they don't like burst into flames or die. It's just more like
It
they
saps
can
their
get like
strength.
second and third degree burns, and they don't have any
Gotcha.
other strength.
Very, very unpleasant.
It's very unpleasant. And there's a blood substitute. So if I don't feel like
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
starving,
What do they call it in that one show?
Mhm.
Is it True,
True
Blood?
Blood.
True blood.
And they have
Yeah,
like
True
the because vampires are like out in the world, and they have like
Right,
the
yeah.
synthetic blood.
Which is it was upsetting because that show dropped and it like just coincidentally
dropped.
zeitgeist right before yours.
right as I signed my book deal.
Yeah,
I
right
was
as you
like,
signed your book
"Mm."
deal. So then it was just like, oh
Damn it.
come on.
I was like, bro, and my names are better than True Blood.
Yeah.
I was like, I had like Hemotopia and Sangria. I had like brand names, like Coca-Cola and Pepsi, stuff like that.
I don't know,
They
dude.
were
There hasn't
different
been any
brands.
vampire media in a long time. Maybe we should shop it around a little bit, see if there's any takers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think any sequels or whatever, I probably would have to indie pub at this point, self pub.
Dark Horse says what we do in the shadows vampire.
That's
Turn into a
That's a
bat.
good vampire too.
Bat?
Yeah.
I can tell you what I wouldn't pick, and that's freaking Nosferatu vampire.
No, lame.
Screw that.
I think my actual answer was Vampire Hunter D. That's where I would be a vampire.
Oh wow.
Because you get the technology, also some like high fantasy vibes, very cool world, and you're like the apex predator.
Did you ever see that meme where it was like, yo, so like if Blade's in the MCU now, it's like, where was the Avengers when like this vampire epidemic was plaguing the fucking country?
They didn't know about it, dude. I don't know. But isn't that like the problem with all like shared media comic book crossover stuff? It's like you're not supposed to think about it in that way because you're like, oh well, Steve Rogers went back to 1945 and lived his whole life, and he just like kept quiet about 9/11.
Yep.
Man,
Yep.
not very Captain America of him. But it's like you're not supposed to really dissect it to that point, or it loses the suspension
Yeah.
of disbelief for superheroes.
I mean, Rob isn't going to answer this question because he is currently a vampire.
Yeah, he can't let the secret slip, dude.
That has never been proven.
Alleged vampire.
We'll get there.
Yeah, I don't know. I never put much thought into it. I don't know. I mean, it seems like the what we do in the shadows is pretty funny because they're always like wacky.
Bro, I love that
I feel,
show.
I feel like it'd be cool to have fun with it.
You're just
I
gonna be a
don't know.
wacky vampire,
Yeah, why not?
bro. You're just gonna be Colin Robbins. Like that's gonna be how the genie fucks you.
I feel like if you chose werewolf, but also in the what we do in the shadows universe, you could do really well for yourself at like furry conventions.
That was a funny
you'd be
episode.
like, you'd
with
be like the
Xander
Hugh
Fallon.
Hefner of furry conventions, dude.
I don't know if those are words that I want to put together. You can do really well for yourself at a furry convention. Are you sure? I don't know.
Fucking Xandor, love that guy.
I mean, I guess being in the whole Twilight Saga universe would be okay, but I don't like some of it.
See,
Oh,
in my
like-
head,
It's
I
dumb.
imagine that like the universe, like if you have to exist in the Twilight universe, the
Mhm.
entirety of reality has that like awful color grade filter over it from the movies.
Yeah, it's
And
like
so I'm
some
just
sort
like,
of dark,
that's
weird.
kind
It's
of
like
how I
blue-
think
it's
of
like
the
blue
challenge
light.
in my
It's
head.
like
Yeah. And so it'd be like, you're like,
Yeah.
man, this world sucks because like everything is green or blue all the time.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I would just go the Yamcha off season route and just fuck it baseball.
I mean, the baseball part was fun. I don't know. I think what we do in the shadows would be a little funner.
I feel like the writer of that felt so fucking clever over the whole baseball and thunder. I was like, this is not that clever. This is one of
Oh,
the,
like playing it during a storm.
this is one of the silliest things I've ever seen.
It was cool.
I mean, but it was extremely anime if you think about it.
It was up there.
All right.
Yeah, somebody says vampires are always rich. So question answered. Kara Quinn said that. I'm like, yeah, if you've been around as a vampire, you're like, oh, how old are you? Oh, I was in the ancient Roman Empire. Why aren't you rich? I should probably just walk into the sun. It's like
So Greg said that exact same thing when we were talking about it last night, where it's like,
You know.
if you become a vampire tomorrow, you're like,
You're
tight.
still you, bro.
But you have to form like a 20, 30-year plan because like it takes a while. Like
set
to
up a
build that wall.
trust, all this
Yeah,
other
dude.
stuff. Have backup
Mhm.
plans within backup plans.
Yeah, because you're gonna age out eventually.
Jeffrey writes, vampires bought Bitcoin in 1778.
Yeah, didn't Marcus lose it all in the dot-com crash?
Yes, he lost most of his money in the .com crash,
Oh my
which
God.
is why he's working as a cop in my story.
Yeah.
He's also being blackmailed by the government, but that's a whole other thing.
As one does. As one is. Yeah.
As one
Oh
is.
man. So last thing before we move on, I have to tell Mike about this because it's gonna tickle his pickle. You know Love, Death, and Robots, right?
Yes.
So a new series came out a month ago, however long ago, right? There is one particular episode that you must go watch. You'll see it immediately. It's a World War II occult horror animated short.
Oh, yeah.
And I guarantee you're gonna watch it and be like, this is the tightest shit. Like it's really cool.
Cool. The next time I sign up for Netflix, I'll watch it because I canceled all my streaming services. So.
There's so many. It's like more
sorry,
expensive
I'm
than
sure you
watch
can.
cable.
I'm sure you can find it on YouTube or
On the high
whatever.
seas.
Yeah, for sure. But you should do yourself a favor and watch it because it's like right up your alley.
News?
Yeah, we got some news. Woo! Let's get crazy. So we got some Chaos Nights happening. Book's already leaked. It's out there. I was looking at it at dinner. I don't remember any of it, but that's
Shocking.
I know, right? So if you're looking to pick up the Hound Pack Lance, I think it's about $90 in savings in there. So it's almost a whole box of War Dogs for freezies. Now, if you can get it at 15% off, pretty good deal because you end up saving about 120 bucks. It's 240 US, and converts out from there depending on where you're at. But yeah, pretty solid deal if you're looking to stock up on some War Dogs and things.
This is why everyone always has knights.
Yep. Not well, I think this is the first bundle they've done for the War Dogs, the little ones, but there's also the gosh, I keep forgetting there's been so many night. What is the new one? Not the despoiler, the insert other non-clever name here, but that guy comes out too.
Yeah, the cool new one.
Yeah, with the grinders.
He's got birds.
The grinders.
Yeah,
so that'll be out too.
Ruinator? Is that what it is?
Ruinator. Yep, that sounds right. We'll go with that. So yeah, pretty solid thing, and I think GW is actually kind of trying, because they most stores could get up to 30, depending on how many they ask for, of the Space Wolf box, which is like a 5x over every other thing since Deathcore. So I mean, I think they're just going through a lot of demand right now. They just can't keep up.
Huh. Okay.
But I don't know what the deal with the card pack is. It's been 3 years in a row.
Allocated at 12 per store or some shit. Is that what it is?
12 per store.
Yeah, I just heard that independently today from a
Yep.
store that has a 25-man player group who does monthly tournaments with over 20 players.
They are going right now on eBay for $100, $75 to $100. Absolutely.
Wow.
Back to our like last week we talked about this, and you've said this for years. If I already bought the rules, then these add-on, then the patchworks or the like the season stuff should be free. It's just PDF. And so if you just let us download that shit, and of course you can still print your allocation 12s per store, and they'll still sell out. But if you let us print them out and then sell us army faction card sleeves like magic style,
Yeah.
bro, we'd buy it. Dude, you'd make even more money. Get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make sense.
I don't even know. I mean, it's literally
Baffling.
like here's the two decks. You know, if you're watching live, like it's almost like this was, I forget how many cards was in this one, 59, but there's a lot more in the new mission deck set. I mean, it's almost twice as big.
Yeah, it's really messed up that like they allocate stuff like that, and then also make it to where things like the ITC Battles app or Tabletop Battles, whatever they call
Couldn't
it,
have
now,
the
they're
cards
like,
in it.
yeah, you're not allowed to actually say what the
rules. You
objectives
can't
are.
print the rules, just the name.
Yeah, it's like, why aren't the card descriptions just like in the fucking Warhammer app? Like, why isn't that just part of my
Put them in the
subscription?
app and let me just like, remember in the old days we used to have things in the codex that you could just, it shows you how you could just roll 2 dice to be random. Remember? This is the multiplication side. This is the add-on side.
Yep.
And bro, if you could just have that in the app, bro. Like something, man. Come on, dude.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. So I think,
but yeah, allocated 12 per store, but also but 30 Space Wolf boxes per store.
It's like they were trying, but I still don't get why they're messing up
the thing you
whole
literally
card pack
need
3
to
years
play
in a row.
12 per store. The thing only Space Wolf players want 30 per store.
And especially after the debacle last year where
2 years running.
They didn't make enough, and so they're like, oh, we have to have like a rush order made for the GW Open so that people can actually fucking play at our tournament. And then those had misprints on them. It's like, how do you guys not getting this? Like, come on, Mike.
That's right.
I agree. It is very perplexing, but you know, nothing we can do about it. I mean, we just, you know, there's a million other people in line to get the shit for free from Games Workshop, and it's even more fucked up when you consider that, you know, every influencer out there being like, special thanks to Games Workshop for sending me this stuff, is getting 2 of each. Like, you know, in a lot of cases for the past 6 months, 8 months, year and a half, they got like basically a quarter of the allocation to stores just to promote something that was already going to be sold out anyways. It doesn't make any sense. The whole system is broken. Literally broken.
That's a good point.
So you know, we could harp about it for years, but
and we have.
And we have. And here we are. So anyways, Soulboy, is this Soulboy Grave Lords Old World Match Play?
I like how he's pretending to read some shit he wrote.
Yeah, I don't even know what this means. Is this real? Is this real life? I don't. Anyways, so and here's another thing which I don't quite get, and maybe you guys can tell me. So I wrote an editorial about this, and we got it ready to go, but I haven't aired it yet, or I haven't posted it yet, because here's the problem: when you look at what's in stock on Games Workshop's website, obviously 40k is sold out everywhere, but literally, if you look at the week before, where it's not a 40k order or release, everything's in stock. Like, everything's in stock. And so, like, basically what's happening is the demand for 40k is so high that, like, them actually devoting any sort of resources to any other game right now is kind of a detraction to the main thing that's making the money in expanding their universe. And I talked a lot about how they made 60 million this year. They could have made 120, maybe even 180. They left that much money on the table in the past year. And I dug into it a little bit more, and it turns out they had another like quick shareholder like vote meeting to pass how they wanted to pay themselves. And again, a third of the shareholders were like, no, go fuck yourself. And they voted no. For whatever reason, I don't know. I don't have access to the proposal they put forward because they hid it, because last time I found it and I talked about it and I published it. But this time around, they didn't. I don't know what it was, but obviously a third of the people were like, no, this is ludicrous. So whatever it was, I'm sure it was awesomely ludicrous that they felt like they did such a good job this year and they made all this money. And they did expand and they did sell more stuff. But the amount of money that they left on tables, and people wanting more, and people not able to get the stuff they wanted, and maybe, left the hobby for something else, is just literally the most I've seen ever in the history of ever in this hobby. And it makes me sad. It makes me sad when people can't get the toys they want, and it makes me sad when they say they can't play with the toys they want. And a lot of that happened this year. But then we've got this other phenomenon that I just can't wrap my brain around, and y'all got to help me with this. So they put out, instead of, Old World came out in January 2024, and instead of, they did their FAQs every 6 months like they said they would, but it's already an eternal format because shit is so broken in Old World that it's very easy to run games very fast, and you already kind of know who's going to win. And there's shit that is just so over the top broken that if you play against it, you don't even have a chance. And instead of patching that, what do? They say, hey, we got an idea. We're going to put out a matched play book for Warhammer the Old World. We're not going to fix shit. We're not going to fix shit for free in an FAQ. Nope, we're going to put out this match play book because everything that 40k does, we have to emulate in all our other systems. But I just feel like that is a false prophecy. That is a self-fulfilling false prophecy, because Necromunda is not 40k. Age of Sigmar is not 40k. Old World is not 40k. Old World is rank and file, large mass scale battles. Necromunda, skirmish 40k. Age of Sigmar is basically big ass cool shit that is not rank and file, and it's kind of like a fantasy kind of alternative to 40k. The sculpts are way better than 40k, but people don't collect it. So everything has its place in my mind, but they keep trying to force it into this 40k box of match play. We can't get our damn match play cards. How are you going to put all these other things in the match play box? You can't. Stop it. Just make more shit. What's that?
What people want. I don't understand the disconnect between like even really casual, like I play Warhammer on Fridays with the boys kind of dudes. They want to play match play. Like they want to play the tournament style games, even though most of the time those are the I would never go to a tournament kind of people. But that's what they want. Like they want to play 2,000 points. They want to play match play because it's the most fair way to play the game. And Games Workshop is just like, what about Crusade, guys? What about this cool Crusade book you can get? What about Asymmetric Warfare that nobody asked for? And like,
Crusade is
selling
pretty
another
awesome,
book, though.
but a lot of people haven't even tried it.
It is cool. Like I'm not saying that it's not cool. It's just like it's stuff that nobody asked for at a time where like, hey, sure would be really cool if you guys made enough. What are we in now? Past Pariah Nexus, whatever the fucking name
Chapter.
they're calling
It's just chapter approved.
Yeah, chapter approved cards that we need to play the game.
Right. I think
No,
it
but
really
they did the
brings
same
home.
thing. They're selling us a book with like versus patching the game. Like, and that's
Right,
kind of what
and
they're doing.
it-
They're selling us cards that we can't buy.
Right.
It's so a lot of, like we talk about this all the time. Like GW makes decisions that don't make any sense, and I think that you're right. I think they're trying. You have a winning model, 40k, right? And you have all these other departments just saying, "Let's do what they do" because they're doing the best.
Which I don't feel like it's a good idea
Probably not.
because these and it, at some point GW just has to stand down and be like, all right, we got systemic problems. We got robots packing orders, sending people's allocations to other stores, and then question mark, like we got we can't even produce enough to satisfy demand right now. And then we've got everything trying to emulate this game and this style of release schedule that we can't even produce enough to keep up with. Like, there's just so many systemic problems across the board right now. And they're just like, no, it's all good. It's all good, guys.
I mean,
And
they still
it's,
making money.
I mean,
They are.
they're
That's why our
making money.
criticisms don't matter anymore. We've decided.
It really doesn't. It's just frustrating because to see it at the ground level and to interface with all these different people from development, to game stores, to other companies that, may or may not have just gotten sued because they randomly had a thing on their website that GW paid this company here in the States to like do this whole suit scheme. It's just like, if you just put those resources into doing the right thing and adding value, which I gotta tell you, I feel like the Space Wolf Army box was a good value. Everything in that box is new, and you can tell they really did a good job with that box, and it's kind of setting up like the precedent, I hope, for another Blood Angels box and a Dark Angels box and whatever. If we do see these combat patrols with like new characters locked inside of them later this year and stuff, that I think will be cool to see. But again, we got to make sure they make enough for folks, because
That's why it's upsetting. They're not making enough cards for us to play the game, but they're still making tons of money on the game that we can't play. It's like this weird. It's preposterous.
Well, it's because like you don't
very weird.
necessarily need the cards to play the game. You just need the cards to like play match play objectives and everything.
You don't need the cards
And,
to
like,
buy the models.
yeah.
True.
You don't need the cards to do the hobby. So, that makes sense.
I don't know.
Well,
It's just,
I mean, I was having a conversation similar to this with a buddy yesterday, and it's like, why don't they just walk away from making codexes as like physical media? And it's like, I hear you. I totally agree with you. The codexes should just be like a $5 a month on the app subscription model to get all the rules and everything. But here's the deal. For every like one person like you or I that is like, what we care about is playing the game match play, and we want our rules, easily accessible and fast and balanced and like, curated. There's 1,000 people that rabidly buy the codex every time it comes out because they're like, I want to have the new lore, and I want to have the new artwork, and I want to have the new little like painting guides, and like I want to have a physical book on my shelf that I can grab and I can open up. It's like the example I gave was Wizards of the Coast, right? You can literally play a billion versions of Dungeons and Dragons on an app, on your phone or on a computer, and never actually give Wizards of the Coast a dime for any physical media or just the rules in general. Like all this stuff is like free to access, but they still publish books all the time, and they do gangbusters because for every one person that's like, books are dumb and I don't want them, there's 1,000 people that are like, I want the physical media. I want it on my shelf. And until we hit a tipping point where enough Warhammer people are like, these books are trash, we don't want them, we're tired of like the points being like wrong before they're even published, we're tired of like bad editing and typos and like all that kind of stuff, and just quit buying them. Games Workshop is like, oh, how much profit did we make printing these books? A lot.
That's exactly
We're going to keep printing books, dude.
Yep. No, I agree. So there needs to be a shift, and we haven't had it yet because we're still in the growth phase, basically. So that's where we're at. But yeah. So anyways, I do want to talk about. So that was kind of my thing with match play and stuff. They do have an offer for their Warhammer character encyclopedia where it's like $25, but you get a free mini. supposedly it's a character, which I feel like at that point they're basically paying you to buy the book because it's free mini and probably Space Marine, but we don't know. I feel like any mini for $25 and you get a book is just a steal. So check that out over on Amazon right now. Of course, we got an article up on Spiky Bits about it too. Then they previewed today, which was really cool. They're bringing back the Captain Centos, Captain 100 for their 200th store anniversary opening here in the States. The last one, the 100 was in 2016. So it's been roughly 10 years, I guess, give or take, since
one step closer to having an entire army of nothing but Space Marine captains and lieutenants.
Yep, for sure.
One day.
Very cool looking model. He will be available at Warhammer stores, hopefully more places, but I guess we'll kind of see from there in the near future. And if you're following along with I just alluded to it a little bit, the big lawsuit against sellers from Games Workshop. So the injunction against those sellers officially went into place. Well, the temporary one, but is it a temporary one? It's basically preliminary until they actually go and hit the gavel and say, oh, okay, yeah. But that all went into place May 27th. So a lot of folks, we talked about how they kind of included a lot of folks that shouldn't be. A couple dozen were taken off of there, but there's still primarily the rest on there. And I haven't gone through the whole sheet yet. One of the big ones on there that I haven't even looked at or cared to see if they were still on there or not was Green Stuff World, I believe, which will be really interesting to see how that plays out if they're still on there. But that being said, a lot of folks are off the list now. So it might be a little harder, depending on what you're into and looking for online. It might be a little harder to find, but chances are it won't be for long, I suppose. But I think for the most part, everybody that they had accidentally included, they realized that maybe that wasn't a thing and they settled. I know there was some gag orders in place and some folks had to pay some money, etc. But other than that, I think they can't go after them for the same exact thing again, which will probably be to a lot of companies' advantages in the future, I feel like. So, but yeah, that's the big stuff. And if you're going hard on Heresy, chances are the pre-orders will be this Sunday for a delivery or a street date of the 28th, I think, of June. So it's looking a lot like Heresy this weekend as far as new reveals and pre-orders go.
Mm-hmm. Another reminder, LVO Long War Doubles tickets on sale for this October. Motor City Mayhem this weekend. Brad Chester's crew, the Lorecast. We've got Challenger Cup coming up, and that's where I'm teaching my first IRL painting classes, and that's in September
on that.
in Utah, Salt Lake City in September. Challenger Cup, if you want to take IRL painting classes with me, because their 8-man event is sold out. So, if you're in the area and you want to take airbrush classes with your boy, that's what's up. Let's take a quick commercial break, and then let's break out this big update. We're back. Let's
welcome back.
Hey, let's have Wyatt lead us in a dissection of what is immediately important to us.
So there's a lot of tiny changes in the balance data slate. So whatever army is your main army, make sure to check it out. Keep yourself up to date. Lots of small changes. Sister's got some very small changes. AdMech continues to be a kludge of bubblegum and shoestring rules. They keep constantly adjusting. So if you're an AdMech player, I'm sure you're on top of it. At this point, it's like a Ship of Odysseus situation. I don't know what's new, what's different, what was original. But yeah, they got some new stuff.
Welcome to Imperial Knights and Adeptus Custodes for the past 2 years.
One of the big bads that got a slap on the hiney was the Eldari with the Devoted of Aeneid or the Inari. So they changed how lethal intent works with their strike from death detachment rule. Ivrain got a slight nerf. Astra Militarum, Lord Solar can order Titanic
Very
units
cool.
again. Very cool. Give orders to that Baneblade, dude. Go off. Blood Angel's got a bit of a glow up, a lot of great points adjustments, and the Death Company now kind of act like the new Wolfen mechanic, where if they're within so many inches of a type of character,
I
they
was wondering
gain
about that because
OC.
Wolfen got this ability, Mike, where they can get OC now if they're near certain characters. And that was something I was like, man, units that slap but that can't do anything afterwards piss me off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's pretty cool to see another unit like Wolfen get that.
Yeah, so that's cool. Chaos Knights, really no adjustments, but their entire codex just leaked, so that's about to come out. Demons, a couple of small changes. Probably the biggest change for them is how soul grinders and defilers now must be on specific base sizes. And so basically like the wailing of tears and the gnashing of teeth and everything about defilers being on 160 millimeter bases. People are like,
I thought it was
oh, they're
130.
on soul grinders are 130, defilers are on 160s.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, defilers are finally, old yellered. They're basically unplayable on most layouts.
Oh, for sure.
Um,
160 is
but
like,
as like if you're a defiler main, if you're a defiler enjoyer, I mean, like you kind of had to know in your heart of hearts that like there was too much jank with those guys. Like
Yeah.
they needed to be on bases. There was a couple of changes for Chaos Space Marines. The Demon Princes got a slight change. Lord Discordants are back. Big move. Got a 4-up invul save. Got their
What?
abilities adjusted. We are so back, dude. Lord Discos are back. And even better, Vashtor the Arcaphane has been buffed. He is yoked. He's coming out of relegation.
Yeah, that dude sucked.
I
What
don't
they
think
do to
he,
him?
yeah, I don't think he ever saw play.
No,
I
he
tried
was
making that
very,
guy
very
work
average.
so many times, bro.
So many.
Bro, so his rules got updated. He gets loan op if he's next to a demon engine
Oh,
vehicle.
thank Jesus.
Hells
Thank the
yeah,
man
brother.
Jesus.
Vash the Stampede is back. He got a slight buff to his ability where like if you shoot him, your weapons become hazardous. Now it's also subtract 1 from the hit roll, giving him some more defense. He adds 2 to the strength of nearby demon engines now, so baller fiends getting extra yoked. And then they gave him his sweep profile is nasty. So it always had anti-vehicle 4+, but now it also has devastating wounds, just like his strike. He has 12 sweep attacks now, and his damage is 2 on the
Oh, he's got a
sweeps.
2 damage sweep.
They gave him extra AP on his smashes, and he gets extra damage on his sweeps.
So he actually fucks now. Thank God.
Bro, we're back. It's happening.
I love that model, man. I've got one right here, man.
The Lionel L. Johnson got a bit of a glow up. He's still very expensive, but now he's kind of worth his points cost. Real good. So if you want to know all about that, make sure to dive in. Votian, a little bit of a change. One of the annoying things was a couple of their characters have these little like drones that follow them around. They took up transport capacity. So like Brokir Iron Master was like transport capacity 5, which is wild. So basically what they did is they said all ECOG units and Corv units don't take up transportation slots. So now the Brokir Iron Master is 2.
They just sit on his lap like a cat.
Yeah, I mean like he locks him in the storage compartment or something,
Yeah.
So that opens up some fun play for Votan players, maybe not game breaking or a mega buff, but it's helpful. Big change to Ultramarines, Space Marines.
Oh no.
So yeah, they're the most dominant. Like they needed to get slapped on the booty. So Gilliman, his ability for CP reduction is once per battle round instead of once per turn. So now you just get it in your turn. Which honestly, that's fair. That should be the way it is.
Yeah.
And then Calgar no longer grants you extra CP unless he is your warlord. So you can still
you can't
play
do that
both.
double. You can't do
Yeah. Yeah, makes you choose. But otherwise, like
Again,
Space
I mean
Marines,
that makes
no
sense
real
because, like,
nerfs.
narratively speaking, both of them on the same field is a little preposterous. Like,
Yeah. Another big change was Tau got a sweeping change to For the Greater Good on how their observer shooter targeting thing. I mean,
their
it's
marker
still
lights mechanic.
yeah, it's still incredibly complicated. So if you're a Tau player, just make sure to read it. The blurb was that they wanted the rule to be easier to pick up by newer players rather than have to like have somebody explain how this works to you. So they reworded it and how it works.
Probably
They
smart.
also made some changes to Kalyan and Mod Ka. On top of getting a new detachment, Tyranids got a couple of small adjustments. And then on that note, I figured we'd look at one of the new detachments because Chaos Space Marines got a new detachment, and
Yep.
it's pretty cool. It's called the Cabal of Chaos.
I'm already into this. Yep.
Yeah, we're with it. So it's got a new detachment rule.
I mean,
It's
I'm a
two-parter.
vampire now, so like Cabals kind of go with the territory,
Let's go,
right,
dude.
Mike?
Let's go. It gives a thumbs up as he was taking a sip of water.
I don't think he was drinking water.
It's blood.
I mean, fair enough. So we have two parts to this rule. Leaping Warp Flame. While this unit is within 9 of one or more friendly Heretic Astartes Psyker models, improve the strength characteristic of ranged weapons equipped by models in that unit by 1. And then Monstrous Manifestation. While this unit is within 9 of one or more friendly Heretic Astartes Demon Prince or Prince with Wings, improve the AP characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in this unit by 1. So not super readily like, oh, this is crazy strong. But when we get into the enhancements and stuff, you're going to start to see it. So one of the most useful enhancements is called Touched by the Warp. Any Heretic Astartes model is allowed to take this. You know, it's going to be a character, obviously, but it grants them the Psyker keyword.
Neat. That's like the old days.
Yep.
Yeah, so immediately some weird stuff might get FAQ'd if Games Workshop wants to be petty about it, but you can have a Mark of Corn Demon Prince that also has the Psyker keyword with this enhancement. Then there's any one of your characters models in the Bearers unit have Scout 6. Very useful. Mind Blade for a Psyker model only. Melee weapons equipped by models in the Bearers unit have Lance. And then Infernal Avatar for a DP or DP with wings. Improve the strength of melee weapons by 2 and improve the AP by 1.
Yo, there's some stacks.
Yeah, so like really readily easy things. Master Possession with Possessed. You can take the Mind Blade and now your Possessed have Lance.
Yeah,
Very
because
useful.
after they dump their devastating wound load, which is a once per game ability, they kind of hit like limp noodles. And
Yeah, kind of like the old
well, just even
cavalry.
having Lance on that initial clap because they're only strength 5. So
well, you're fishing for 6s anyway because that's the devastating wound roll. So typically you're looking for some reroll mechanic to just pick up 6s, right? But now after you dump that load, having Lance and extra AP because the Demon Prince and this fucking Mind Blade ability, you just hit hard now again. Like, so they actually have a lot of sustain now, and they're hard to dislodge with 3 wounds to the 6. So yeah, that's a sick combo.
I mean, just basic stuff like you can give a Chaos Lord the Psyker ability, put him in a unit of Chosen. They pal around with a DP, and all of a sudden those Chosen get a big old buff.
I love Mind Blade too. That's a sick name.
Very cool. I haven't even looked at the stratagems yet, so these are new to me.
Mind Blade is my new. By the way, that's my Twilight Vampire superpower.
Oh, tight. Yeah,
like,
very cool. So let's see. Baleful Blessing, 1 CP. Any phase just after a Heretic Astartes unit has a mortal wound allocated to it, you get a 5-up Fellow Pain against mortal wounds. Very cool. No Rest in Death. In your movement phase, 1 Heretic Astartes unit within 9 of a Psyker, DP, or DP with wings The effect is one model in your unit regains up to D3+1 lost wounds. If your unit has the battle line keyword, you can return up to D3 destroyed models, excluding characters, with their full wounds remaining instead. Pretty neat. Mutations Curse, 1 CP. In your shooting phase, 1 Heretic Astartes Psyker unit. Select 1 visible enemy unit within 12, roll a d6 on a 1. That enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. On a 2 to a 4, that enemy unit suffers d3. On a 5 to 6, they suffer 2d3 mortal wounds.
Good old Smite.
Some mind bullets. Yeah, very cool.
Man,
Soul Seekers.
Remember when Smite almost ruined the game?
I do.
Oh, yeah.
I remember the psychic phase. Soul Seekers, 1 CP. Your shooting phase, 1 Heretic Astartes unit from your army that has been selected to shoot. Until the end of the phase, you get ignores cover on those ranged attacks. Unholy Haste, 1 CP. Your charge phase, 1 Heretic Astartes infantry unit that has not been selected to charge yet. Until the end of the phase, your unit is eligible to declare a charge in a turn which it advanced. Very, very good. We've been seeing this version of movement stratagems pop up in a number of different attachments, and I really like them because you don't have to declare your intent in your movement phase, which makes it harder choices on your opponent. I like how it's like, I get to declare I'm advancing and charging in the charge phase rather than in the movement phase.
Oh, I like that. That's an interesting observation.
And then a reactive stratagem, Shroud of Chaos. Start of your opponent's shooting phase, you select 1 Heretic Astartes Psyker unit, 1 Demon Prince unit, or 1 DP with Wings unit. Until the end of the phase, your unit has the following ability: Shroud of Chaos Aura. Models in friendly Heretic Astartes units within 6 have the stealth ability. And this one is kind of weird. We were talking about it earlier. It's open-ended to the point that it might be kind of crazy, where if you have a large unit of, say, Chosen, and you string them out, like, the unit has this aura ability. So that would mean that every model puts out this aura, kind of like Contagion. So you could have like a vast swath of your army get the stealth rule for 1 CP off of this one thing. But yeah, very cool. I think there's a lot of interesting tech here. Like a newer way to play CSM, some neato thingies.
Yeah.
They have not patched the changing of keywords when you ally in like Emperor's Children Noise Marines or Rubric Marines into CSM. So a unit of Rubric Marines in this attachment is a great ally choice because they already have all the relevant keywords. And it keys off of like the stratagems and stuff. So that could be very cool.
Fair point. Because they themselves are psychers. Oh, yeah. Well, it's pretty good coverage. Appreciate that. And as always, whenever we cover stuff like this, we try not to go over every little thing because only the thing.
There's a lot. It's very granular. I think
Yeah.
the other big thing, we kind of mentioned it but didn't bring it up directly, is that as part of the chapter approved tournament companion PDF, we have a official base size guide from the company for every model, which is what we talked about, like Defilers, Rest in Peace Kings. So make sure that you guys download that, look it over, make sure all your stuff is up to date. I think this is a long time coming because it's something that the European circuits and the WTC circuit have been using for a long time. People have been asking for it. And without getting too far into the weeds, there was an event last weekend where somebody was in a little bit of hot water for having a character on a 40 millimeter when they should have had a 50 millimeter base. So it's one of the things we just got to bite the bullet. If your bases are really old, sorry, you got to change them. It's been a thing for a long time. Most of these base sizes are years old at this point. They're just making it 100% official. So if you have a bunch of dudes on 25s that should be on 28s or 32s,
And there's lots of
Get
mechanics.
some
for
rings,
upping
you
your
know,
base
extend them,
size.
whatever. Yeah, like you don't have to rebase your stuff. Just get extenders.
Yep. There's
Yeah,
plenty out
Rex
there.
Hobbies sells pretty good ones.
Mm-hmm.
They
Mhm.
do indeed.
They're one of the first.
They got all sorts of stuff.
Hell, you can get like MDF or clear acrylic base pog cutout things on Amazon for crazy cheap. You can get like a bag of 100 for $5, you know, and it's like if you don't want to do anything but just put them on a piece of clear acrylic so it doesn't distract from your nice bases.
Well, that's an
Pretty
interesting
easy.
take on it. Yeah, that's actually really
Yeah.
I mean, all it's really doing is making it to where your models can't
Dis-
bonk into each other
displaces
at
more
the
volume. Like
yeah. So it's like if you're supposed to be on a 32, the acrylics makes it a 32. You can't get free movement.
Yeah, that's a really interesting choice. But yeah, in the Warhammer 40k hobby that we've been playing for so many years, there was a time when we went like a decade on a codex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
Yep.
bro, wasn't your
Dark
Rich Cult
Eldar.
codex like black and white still, and everyone had color codexes?
Yeah, it was like 12 years.
Yeah, paperback black and white joint. It's like, like they just like stopped patching and FAQing and like, which is wild because fourth it popped off. Like tournaments got huge in
Mhm.
fourth because of the terrain, and we're out there being almost completely unsupported by the company,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where
Really?
we got a lot of unique formats being developed by people boots on the ground running events, and so it's a completely different game now that we actually have seasonal support.
Yeah.
It's just difficult. I think I like relate to Mike Haspel on this. I'm in my 40s now, and it's like I'm in a different chapter of my life, and so like, bro, if we had this kind of like patch updating back when we were going hard in like fourth or fifth, bro, I would have been
Could you imagine?
happy as a clam, dude. I mean,
For sure.
like because we were cranking
I
shit
still
out.
think it's really, really cool. I just don't have time.
I
That's
unfortunately don't
my
get to
biggest
partake in
enemy.
it. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm not mad about it. I'm just like, man, think about how hard we were going back in those days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we were cranking shit out, dude, like ready to go. It's like, but I mean, so it's really exciting for anyone who's breaking in, man. Like you're breaking into the
Mhm.
greatest time that our hobby has ever known.
We're very spoiled for models,
Yeah.
design choices, hobby supplies,
Faction,
you name it.
representation, like how many choice, yeah, like literally just being able to pick something that really you relate to versus like back in the day there was, being able to just pick something you resonate with, man. That's like such a good feeling. And then also
Really
getting
is.
your projects done is never been better. Like just being able to YouTube video a airbrush video or some shit, man. Like,
Yep.
Just boom.
like it's wild, dude.
Yeah. I mean, like this is actually I'll give kudos to Games Workshop on this basing guide thing because for many, many years, as you guys know, they would straight up just like not publicize what bases stuff
Mhm.
came on unless you bought it. Like you had to know by having bought it before. But I couldn't like go to the store and be like, I'm planning this project
For
and I want to have
years,
these
on their
resin
website,
bases.
I would go and look, and it would tell you the contents of the box, and that was the
Except
only
the bases.
that was
Yep.
the only information I can get it on.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
it's like we know why they were doing it is because they want you to buy it to figure it out, and they didn't want you buying, like resin bases. They wanted to hurt that industry. And so at least now we were like, okay, I'm planning this Grey Knights project, and I need to like get all this stuff together. Like, what base sizes do I need for stuff? Like maybe you don't know what Drago is or whatever it might be, like the weird oval dimensions of a NDK. Like now you know, and you can plan and buy accordingly.
Mm-hmm. Accurate, bro.
Yeah, it's good. Standardization is good in my mind.
Yes. Well, that's it for this show. Good luck, Mike Haspel, to your next 2 weeks in your competitions.
Yeah, dude. I hope you do well.
Yep.
I'm rooting for you to
Mhm.
make masters, and
That's just the goal. That's just the goal.
I think that's awesome, man. Like if anyone that listen to podcasts didn't know, like our boy's like a hell of a competitive shooter, and I mean, as long as I've known you, like So it's an awesome it's an awesome goal to achieve for, man. And I'm rooting for you, bro. And so hopefully we'll have some guests in the next couple of weeks. And Mike Casper, you got something for us?
Lock the door and hope they don't have blasters.
Is that a Star Trek reference?
Definitely Star Trek.
Oh, really, guys?
Wyatt, can you take us out of here?
I mean, I know what it is.
Yeah.
You said it to the droids.
Bro, I
Yes.
know what Star Wars is.
You only knew it was Star Wars because you said blasters.
Yeah, well, obviously he didn't say phaser.
Yep.
I know the
True.
weapons. I mean, I don't know what movie it's from. I'm not a nerd.
Yep, me neither. I don't know what it's from.
You are a nerd, just not about that.
I mean, is it from the greatest of all Star Wars movie, The Phantom Menace?
No, that was a bit earlier.
So
there's a show out there called Viva La Dirt League, and they
Yep.
have a scene. They have a really great skit. I encourage everyone to go out there where they're talking about the greatest Star Wars movie. And the guy goes, "Yeah, the first one." And he's like, "Yeah, Episode 4, A New Hope." He's like, and they say it at the same time. So he's
Yeah.
like, "A New Hope," and the other guy says, "The Phantom Menace." And then he's just like, "The fuck did you say to me?" It's really, really funny. Go check it out.
that's my life. I love that. All right, Wyatt, take us out of here, please.
Rob?
So that's it for this one. Thanks for everybody for listening. So for exclusive content, early access videos, and more, become a veteran of the Long War today.